Hey, Steve.
Hey, Sandy. What's the latest?
Oh, man. They're retaliating against me because of my numbers. CEOs to bring your numbers up, but I would have to massively write summonses and arrest people to come up with a number close to the number that they want to come up with, the goal. So I'm going to investigate who made the decision and why. I don't know. So that was great.
Sandy, can I come down there and film it?
All you want.
And thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's now my pleasure and personal pride to introduce the Police Commissioner of the City of New York, the Honorable William J. Bratton.
Good morning and congratulations to you and to your families. Over the last 24 years, when most of you were still too young to remember the devastation of the 80s and 90s, this city reclaimed its streets. It reclaimed its neighborhoods and its parks. And we, the police, were the integral and essential element in doing that. Well, the new mission for the New York City Police Department is going to be quite simply to save the children of this city. There are too many young men in this city carrying guns who have been drawn into the crews and into the gangs, and we need to prevent that from happening.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do hereby pledge and declare to uphold the Constitution of the United States as a police officer in the New York City Police Department to the best of my ability. So help me God. Congratulations. Ready, run!
Hello? Hey, son, listen, I'm gonna find the place, okay? I don't know. Let me do what I gotta do now. Cause I really gotta do this. Okay, talk to you later.
Sandy, I do for the year. 46 days, 12 Ds and 16 Cs. That's your activity for the year. Let me explain to you. Listen, Sandy, I have nothing against you. I really don't. But you need to catch up with everybody else. You realize you have the worst activity in the platoon. You speak at an hour a month. You speak a little more than that, but I'm all right with one a month. You understand what I'm saying?
When I go out there, I don't go out with number in my mind.
Oh, I'm not saying that. I'm not asking you to. But what I'm saying is, like, how can you not see something? As soon as you get in your car and you drive away, by the time you get to the corner, there's at least one person did something wrong in front of you.
My understanding is that it's reasonable.
This is what I'm trying to explain to you, Sandy. You're not hearing. You gotta listen. You gotta look around you. Everybody else around you is moving a lot faster than you. You need to catch up with everybody.
I don't.
Or you can continue to fight it, whichever way you want to go with it. It's up to you. Okay.
You've been going through similar stuff that I've been going through, and he went through. I just want you to explain to Blanco here everything that's been going on.
Just because I didn't bring the amount of summonses and arrest that they wanted me to bring to the precinct. I've been punished and retaliated against.
And you thought that after all I've been through, that after all he's been through, that after all the shit that we've been through, that exposing stop and frisk, exposing their numbers machine, we thought that it was over, but they still was doing the same shit. That's the same fuck up.
But it's worse because you came out, right? First it was Schoolcraft. They buried his story. You came out, they buried your story. I went to federal court and then they buried my story.
We know what's going on out there. And we know what's hurting cops. And we know the morale of cops is very low. Everybody that you meet, everybody's fuck this job, fuck this fucking job, fuck this fucking job. That's a morale. That's how everybody feels.
Yeah.
I've heard the lieutenant give him a quota. I heard the sergeant threaten him if he didn't follow the quota. If nothing works, then we're gonna eventually have to sue. If they give us no recourse, we're gonna have to sue and we have to make some change.
I feel like we have to tell you this because once you're out, you cannot go back.
No.
They'll eat you alive.
You can't go back.
We're strong.
They're not your friends.
As a unit. But
they're not your friends.
Individually, we have to be strong too.
They're not your friends.
And we also we rely on each other. Something bad happens to you, you call me, you call him. Before you lash out at anybody, do not trust anybody else. They're gonna come after you in many ways. You gotta be prepared.
Investigator Gomez, can I help you?
An inmate at New York City Department of Corrections. This call is subject to recording and monitoring.
Hello? Yeah, how you doing? This is Investigator Gomez. Who's this?
Randy Robinson?
Randy Robinson?
Yes.
What can I do for you, sir?
I was wondering, what's our prices with the private investigators?
Okay, well, what kind of case do you have?
I have a set murder case, and I would like to know what shot is it.
A murder case?
A set murder. The thing being said I did, I was never there at all. At that time, I was always across town.
Where are you located? Rikers, Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, where?
Rikers
I want you to call your mom, sister, whoever it is, and let them know that Private Investigator Manuel Gomez is going to be taking your case if you're innocent. But do not waste your family's money if you're not. Okay?
I'm innocent.
All right, well then if you're innocent, I will get you out and free you. I'm going to go there and see you. I need you to have all your paperwork ready. I need to write down a list of people, witnesses, so I can start my investigation. Okay? I'm going to let you know now. I'm going to see you. Damn it. Jesus Christ. All right. Hold on a second. It's the best. We're the best in New York. Can I get 2 of these? And it's for you though. I'm breaking his cherry. He's never had a lobster tail. Now this is emotional. But this you gotta try outside the car because we're gonna get it all over the place.
All right.
Here.
Thank you.
I'll trade off with you.
What, you're gonna shoot?
I'll shoot you. Go ahead, try that.
You're gonna shoot me trying to lock. Oh my God, that is a lot of pastry.
No, not from there. You gotta crack it down. There's a way to eat it. Been a private investigator now for about 3.5 years. Before that, I was a military intelligence officer for the Army. I've been on numerous missions with the United States Marshals, hunting fugitives. Worked for the Department of State, for the U.S. Embassy in Kabul, help protecting the U.S. Ambassador. I used to also be a cop. When I was a police officer, I saw a lot, but the police department, they want you to be a kind of cop that keeps his mouth shut and doesn't say anything. And I refused to do that. So I was forced off the job in 2011, and I decided to do what I do best, which is investigate crimes. Sorry to bother you. Pero no la molesta. I'm Investigator Manuel Gomez. I'm a private investigator. I'm out here looking into cops from the 4-2 that have been harassing people. So if you guys have anybody, any young bloods that have any problem, day or night. So what's your first name?
Jamari.
I'm private investigator Manuel Gomez.
All right, nice to meet you.
So go ahead. So what happened to you?
I was walking out and they grabbed me like this. Then when they put their handcuffs on me, they walked me to the car. And they're like, I'm like, what am I being charged for? I was asking them the whole time. When I got to see my lawyer told me I was getting charged with criminal possession of a weapon.
But there was no weapon.
There was no weapon. They just told my mom to come get me. I'm 17.
Okay. And this got dismissed.
Yeah, I have no criminal records.
Hey, how are you?
Wait, what was that?
No, he's filming me. No, hold on, let me finish. I'm not that ugly. No. He's filming me because I'm doing an investigation. What's your first name? Shaheen what? Ricardo, what's up? All right, come on in, don't worry, I don't bite, man. Get this shit off, man. Sit down with me. What's wrong with you? Here, hold on a second. Listen, don't worry about it. Don't be sorry. I'm not that ugly. Listen, here's the deal. We're putting a major lawsuit against the department for violating the state law on quotas. So what I want to know is how many arrests do you have that were dismissed?
All of them. Every one of them I got arrested for. I never got arrested for no.
And they were all dismissed?
All of them got dismissed.
Okay, how many would you say? 5, 4, 6?
Probably more than 5.
About 7?
Yeah, probably around that, like 7 times.
7 times. I want you to go in the courthouse, bring your ID, and you're gonna get all the cases that says dismissed. Okay? And you're gonna bring them to me. You're gonna call me up and says, Manuel, I got my cases, right? And then I'm gonna file a lawsuit for all those false arrests. All right, I want you to do me a solid. I want you to go in with your mom, and I want to go in there and tell her that I'm gonna be your man now. All right, you're gonna be my stepson. All right? All right, I am crazy. I'm crazy, but I'm good. You got a problem getting paid? You got a problem getting justice? All right, so you'll join the family? I could be here all night long meeting people like that kid, Mr. Mercado. Without a doubt, without a doubt. But, I mean, come on, the guy was arrested 7 times. All the arrests were dismissed. What does that tell you? You're taking days out of this kid's life, fingerprinting him, and you're doing this to the point where eventually you're gonna get something to stick against the wall. Because the judge is gonna say, oh my God, why does he have so many arrests? Not that, oh my God, he has so many arrests because the cops are harassing him and that they were dismissed. No, they don't see that. This is what kills me. I mean, it's blatant. The evidence is clear as day and they don't do anything about it. And it's disgusting. It really is.
Hello, how are you?
Hello. Detective Rotan, my driver. Commissioner also incited two of the community partners.
Okay,
Good to see you right in the front.
And do we have, are these just the new officers, or do you have your?
Some of the training officers,
Training
involved. Not all of them,
and
but some of them
supervisor
in the front.
Attention!
At ease, please.
As you were, take seats.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, sir. The admonition I bring to you is be cops, and be what cops are supposed to be. Honest, with pride, with commitment. You cannot break the law to enforce the law. And there may be temptations. You're going to deal, unfortunately, as many great people as there are out there, and you're going to meet a lot of great people. There's also some very bad people out there. And you're going to want to get them. You're going to want to arrest them. You're going to want to put them in jail. You want to get them out of these neighborhoods and put them in prison. Because some of them just are never going to change. They are criminals, and that's unfortunate, but that's the reality. The crisis that we now have is, can the NYPD continue to make the city even safer, but in doing it, continue to improve relationships, particularly in our neighborhoods that still have too much crime, by policing in a constitutional way, a respectful way, a consistent way, and with integrity. Let me emphasize that term, integrity.
Hello, Steve?
Hey, Sandy, what's going on?
Oh man, these people. They took me off my sector car and put me on a footpost where nothing's going on. Even if something happens in the area, I'm not allowed to move from there until the end of my tour. It's like being treated like a child. You know, when you put a child in timeout for other cops to learn from my example.
If you see an SUV, then I'll say really put it down.
Okay, cops go.
You think they could see you from there?
Yeah.
I don't care, really. I really don't give a shit, man.
Cold and cloudy today in New York City now that our winter storm has exited, leaving behind some much cooler air. 31 degrees today. We're going to be feeling very chilly in the overnight hours.
Hey.
You all right?
Yeah.
My shop is over here. I know what it is, you know. I am all sweat. So,
You mean you know what it is? What do you mean?
No, I was a cop.
Oh, you were a cop? Where?
Florida, Tampa.
Oh yeah, this is doing they're doing retaliation on me. That's what it is. Because
You want to get a hot chocolate? I go get a hot chocolate. You go inside and drink it.
I go later. Thing is, I have to go by. You know, these guys are watching me closely. Yeah.
Somebody's on the corner watching me too.
Huh?
See them in the car down there.
What's up, boss? How you doing?
What's going on?
What's up, Sarge? How you doing? Not much.
All right, your hat's, you're out of uniform. The
What?
hat.
The hat? Why?
It's not supposed to, not expected to be 30, below 32.
Yeah, it was this morning.
No, for the tour. For the tour, it's expected to be 38 degrees.
38 degrees?
Correct.
Oh, so I get a CD for this?
I'm just saying you're out of uniform. I'm gonna put you in the book for being out of uniform.
Well, when I came out, it was below 32.
It's expected to be 38 degrees today.
I mean, I felt very, very cold earlier.
Isn't that what it feels like? It's what
But
it's expected.
All right. Take care.
We are also holding a press conference tomorrow, which I'm encouraging each and every one of you to make sure that you come out and participate. Visibility is going to be everything in this effort. We believe that there's enough in the forefront for us to be able to have some dramatic change take place in the police department. You have all these people that end up retiring and then claim how everything was unfair, and they had all the opportunity, the same opportunity we've taken while we're active on the job to speak on these issues, and why these gentlemen have spoken on the issues, that they can take advantage and step up and speak to the issue without being scared. And we had a class action lawsuit that obviously represented that. We're hoping to pursue another class action lawsuit that will probably be bigger than the first. On that note, please stand up and introduce yourself and tell us about your current case.
Before they tell you their story, I just want to put this into perspective. There's a quota law. It's no longer the bill, it's the quota law. That means that I or no other police supervisor can go out and actually tell a particular police officer that you have to write 20, 30, 40 summonses. It's illegal, okay? When you have supervisors, and these officers will describe it, when you have the supervisors that are using police officers as a revenue-producing agent for the city, then you're violating the quota law. So you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves and speak.
I'm Officer Serrano formerly from the 4th Precinct in the Bronx, South Bronx, and now I work in the Heights. My situation, there were many. I was told by the XO and the CO that I had to stop black people. These were his words. You must stop black people between 14 to 21. I said no. We went at it. I got suspended, charges and specs, blah, blah, blah.
From the beginning, I saw how this job was. That it was not about helping people, not helping our community. It's about numbers. I always spoke my mind. I always said, you know what? It's not about the numbers. It's about the quality. It's about helping people. That did not sit well with the brass in my precinct. They thought I was a rebel rouser.
We got people who got summons where they live. They got arrested where they live for trespassing.
Yeah.
We have a bunch of those.
Yes. We all seen the guys playing dominoes. Older gentlemen, chilling on the side of the bodega, playing dominoes, minding their fucking business, excuse me. What do? It's the 29th. I have to hit him with a C summons because I was told get a C summons or else. Number 2, I'm running low. That's the only one I see because the bad guys aren't right there. I'm doing day tours right now. They're not out. The drug dealers are sleeping. So who am I targeting? These 4 gentlemen. And that's where the community problem arises.
Oh, that's Antonio. Look, the detective already. Look. See the detective?
Look, and they coming up the block too. They coming up the block. They looking at us.
This is crazy. This is like the second, third patrol that went around already. Tell me, bro, we gotta move from here.
It's gonna be a little hot and dusty because we haven't been staying here. This was my son's room over here. Make sure. These are the main from the family here. That's my oldest, my youngest, that's Pedro. That's my other daughter, she just graduated high school. I didn't get to upgrade his picture because he's graduating in there now. He's not graduating outside. Some of these cops are so hungry for arrest, they will follow my kids home, come into my building, knock on the door. After that, I couldn't let my kids go through that. So because of that, I just left from the morning to the night. I told my kids, pack luggage, and I took them out of here. Around here, me personally, I could tell you, there's multiple kids with the same, like this. They get arrested, they go, and there's not a shred of evidence. All they do is arrest them without no evidence, and then what the court does, dismiss the case. This is all the dismissals. Attempt of murder. Charges, dismissed. Reckless endangerment with a weapon, dismissed. Again, reckless endangerment with a weapon. They just declined prosecution. All this costs money. There's like a few more, and I gave them to the lawyer.
All dismissed?
Yeah, all dismissed. It came to the point I hired this private investigator. I said, I need somebody to speak for me. I need somebody to go to the district attorney's office, explain that every time they're arresting this kid, they're messing up his life.
For months, private investigator Manuel Gomez has pounded the pavement in this South Bronx neighborhood.
Do you guys live in the area? That shooting happened on September 1st. Fue un shooting que pasó aquí.
So you've been all over here?
All over here.
Determined to prove that 16-year-old Pedro Pablo Hernandez didn't open fire with a gun during a street dispute here in September of last year.
5 witnesses say that he didn't do the shooting.
Hernandez, a high school student with no criminal record, has been on Rikers since July. His mother unable to post the $250,000 bond.
My son is mentally devastated. Sometimes he tells me he wants to die.
Cops have arrested Hernandez several times. Most of the cases dismissed thanks to alibi evidence obtained by P.I. Gomez and the family's attorney.
This is a call
for all New York City officers, this is the opportunity you have to now come forward and highlight the illegal quota system in the New York City Police Department. This is what the commanding officer wrote to officers who are on patrol, saying that if you don't give the summonses that generate money for New York City, that these officers are going to be disciplined and punished.
This suit was filed on March 2nd in the Southern District, right here. Since then, we have had at least 30 New York City police officers who have come forward and told us that they suffer from the same conditions. Out of those 30, we have signed up 8 additional plaintiffs who wish to be named, and more are still coming forward. Now, what is the point of the lawsuit? The system that police officers are forced to implement is driven by numbers. Ever since Comstat, it's all about numbers. Numbers, we're talking about enforcement activity and the kind of impact that it has both on the police officers and the community.
The National Latino Officers Association claims police officers are being evaluated on a quota system, even though that's against the law. According to the group, officers are mandated to make at least 1 arrest a month and hand out at least 25 summonses.
1 second. All right, so what I'm telling you is to make sure you tell the rest of the guys as well. Make sure you're wearing your vest all the time. That says we reach a point of no return, which means that some people understand what we're doing, and some people are going to be scared about what we're doing. All right? So dot your I's, cross your T's, treat it like a game for now, so you don't get upset. Don't go home angry about it. You have to mentally adjust to it. Okay? If you treat it like a game, you play baseball, whatever it is, you enjoy it. They make a move, you make a move, you keep yourself balanced. If you keep yourself balanced, they can't hurt you. Whatever you think you need to talk to somebody or it's not going the way you think it should, then we're a phone call away. That's the point of why we do what we do, because you're never alone in this process. Okay?
Thank you.
So it's best to
But I have to run.
call me best, right? What time?
Yes.
What time? I'm off for the next 2 days. What time?
Any time.
Okay, time.
Current time.
You guys are based in Manhattan? So right after the press conference wrapped up, I went over to the attorneys and said, I'm a police officer and I think I can add some ammunition to this case. The commander felt that my numbers were too low. I basically wasn't meeting the quota. So the plan to sabotage my promotion was already being discussed. What's the issue with me? Just activity, the quota?
Due to what your enforcement is, that's what it is.
But it has to be more because technically, when it comes to numbers,
it's not more. That's it.
But when it comes to numbers, I'm not the lowest. Even though we're not supposed to care about numbers, I'm still not the lowest. So why all this extra effort with me?
You really want me to tell you what I think it is? You really want me to tell you what I think it is?
Because I need to understand this.
You're a young black man with dreads, very smart, have a loud say, meaning your words is loud.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying by that?
Yeah.
Fuck this dude. Those were the exact words. Fuck this dude.
Yeah, I was like, wow. When he said that, I knew what it was, but, for him to actually say it. To be asked to participate in something that disenfranchises black folks even more, it's horrible.
So what are they doing to you?
I've been here for a few years now. They always stop me. Just when we walk, they stop me.
And they stop you and do what?
Huh?
And do what?
Check me, check out nuts. Put me in the car for a few and then just let me go. They check out nuts. Or they just let me go.
And nobody's allowed to violate your rights. Did you know this? So he's over here. Do you know this? Do you know that nobody can come over here and frisk you and go like this and go in your pockets and start doing that? The next time one of them stop you, whoever it is, let's say if it's that one right there, you gotta let me know. I need you to take me to where it happened the night of the incident.
I'm right here, and they got me up against the gate like that. So when they got me up against like that, I'm telling them like, yo, what y'all stop? Like, what y'all arresting me for? Like, what's all this for? You feel me?
They just pull up on me right here, brother. Fire hydrant, hop out, jump out. Let me see your hands. Let me see your hands. I give them my hands. I'm coming up to them. I know they police. I'm coming up to them. I ain't do nothing wrong, officer. I ain't do nothing wrong. Throw your hands up. Put my hands up. They were searching me so hard. Take my jacket off. They picking up my pants. I even took my belt off so my jeans could be loose, so they could really feel everything on me.
I'm like, yo, come on, stop grabbing me. What y'all grabbing me for? Like, there's no reason for y'all to grab me. Y'all want a reason for me try to resist arrest with y'all, try to fight with y'all. I'm not gonna do that because I don't want to get locked up. So my mom's sitting there watching. That's when Nunes snagged me. Boom.
I'm violating, nigga. Slam me in my neck and all that, nigga. I'm violating, nigga.
Don't touch me because I'm pregnant. Take the light off my face. Take the light off my face.
And all this got dismissed.
All this got dismissed.
All right. Now, what I want you to do is you're going to call, make a CCRB complaint. Yeah, this is the only way we're going to put a stop to this, is when you're making complaints against them.
If you are the victim, say self.
Say self.
Self. Yeah, but where to get rid of them?
Slower, louder. Please describe the officer's actions that you would like to file a complaint about.
They frisked me and searched me, and took my clothes off naked. I was falsely arrested by the police officer, and then they released me 2 hours later after strip searching me twice in the precinct.
Your complaint has been registered. Thank you for calling the Civilian Complaints Review Board.
He's coming in, Judge.
Is Hernandez?
Yeah.
Right here. This is counter number 12, Pedro Hernandez.
Your Honor, just what I would like to put on the record, we went through great pains to find this week, which is a suitable week for defense as well as prosecution to try this case. I understand that the matter was adjourned from 2 days ago administratively by the court till today. I just don't see why the prosecution were not ready for trial. The last time it was adjourned was due to the scheduling of the prosecution and the prosecuting attorney. I just don't understand what the reason for the adjournment is this time.
How old is your client?
My client's 17 years old now, Your Honor.
Okay, and what kind of offers have you received?
There was an informal offer of a non-incarceratory plea with youthful offender status that's been offered twice. My client's rejected that both times.
Is you still rejecting it? Because that'll certainly get him out in time to go to school.
He maintains his innocence, Your Honor.
He is charged with criminal possession of a weapon. He's facing up to 15 years of state prison. I just wanted to understand that a trial is a risky operation. And if he is not innocent, then the likelihood is that there will be trial evidence that will be inculpatory.
No, and I thank the court for addressing the issue, Your Honor. And I've had extensive negotiations and discussions with him concerning plea bargain offers, and he understands the risk involved with the trial, but it's his position to reject those offers.
I've said my piece. We can proceed as he will.
712, step in.
I pretty much keep everything. This was a while back put up in the precinct. Telling us basically we need X amount of cell phones, X amount of seatbelts, X amount of double parkers, X amount of bus stops. This one.
So this is that.
How do you justify taking stuff off of the commander's desk?
Hey, when we say we're threatened or a boss said this or there is quotas, nobody's gonna believe you unless you have that physical proof. I had a sergeant tell basically everybody, your job as a police officer is to lock people up. But that's not my job to lock people up. Our job is to keep the peace, to protect property. But a lot of officers, they really don't know that. I wish one of those chiefs from headquarters could watch me on the damn patrol. Watch out of the 8 hours that I'm on patrol, I have at least 30 people come up and shake my hand. What's up, boss? Everything's good, man. Everything's good, man. Chill, man. Yeah. Wherever they put me, I'm gonna talk to people. I'm gonna be like, hello, what's going on? Shake kids' hands, because that's the type of person I am. And that's the way all of us should be. But nobody sees this because the last few years, officers have been trained to be different. A lot of times, the officers don't know how to talk to people. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, big man? Everything good?
Yeah, they playing with his food.
Big man, what's up, man? Everything good?
Walk up in here talking all that fucking shit. Fucking corny ass fucking.
You good though? You good, big man?
He good.
We can either like beat him up and fight him and drag him or cuff him, or you can talk to him. Yo, don't spend your dough in there no more, man. Don't spend your dough in there no more.
But this right here is the whole point. I was fucking with the young boy. This fucking faggot right here come up in there popping shit.
My man, that's what's up, yo. Yo, don't spend your cheese in there no more, man. That's it, man. You got all these other bodegas, man. Don't go in there no more, man. Don't spend your dough in there, motherfucker, no more, man.
Always fucking violent. Then he wanna act like.
No, we good, man. We good.
Then he wanna act like he wanna fight. So I come outside. He grabbed the weapon. He ain't wanna fucking fight.
It's done, man. It's done. It's done. A situation like that could have been turned into something crazy. I'm not saying every time you're gonna be able to talk somebody down, but I tell you, like, these new guys don't know how to handle a situation like that. They're so used to just fighting, beating up somebody. They don't know how to de-elevate anything. They don't know how to diffuse it.
Don't touch me, please. Don't touch me.
Bill Bratton's leadership is under attack. The man accused of illegally selling cigarettes died as NYPD officers wrestled with him. Eric Garner's arrest, caught on video, led to protests.
We love you, Eric. I'm sorry, Clary, please let them out, please. Watch your back, sir, please. Let the family. I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
We could talk about Ferguson, we could talk about Florida, we could talk about Brooklyn, we could talk about Fruitville Station, Oscar Grant. I mean, it's continuous. It just keeps going. It just keeps going. What do you want us to do? How long do you think you're going to keep the powder keg cap on?
Commissioner, critics are blaming your broken windows policy. It's been hailed all around the world as successful, going after low-level crimes before big ones happen. Okay, so in this case, many people are upset, however, because they feel it's targeting communities of color. How do you respond to that?
We are not targeting communities of color. We are targeting behavior. Unfortunately, there are a number of neighborhoods in the city that still have the highest crime rates. And that's been the case, unfortunately, 20, 30 years, even though crime in those neighborhoods is down 70 or 80%. So that's where I put a lot of extra police into those neighborhoods. I have thousands of extra police in those neighborhoods to keep the crime down. While they're there, they are seeing other offenses that they're going to act upon.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Black officers! Puerto Rican officers!
Nobody likes you. Nobody. You all are hated. You are hated in New York. You are hated throughout the United States. This is anger. This is not ignorance. This is just anger.
You have to see the way they talk about us behind our back, and you have to be very careful.
Right. But we do have some support amongst cops.
Yeah, a lot of support. The support that I have is the same support.
I'm not sure if everybody's connecting the dots, but Eric Garner, he got killed. It was a part of because they were chasing for activity.
Yeah.
And that's the reason. The quotas. That's the reason why we're here. The guy in the Bronx, Graham, it's the same thing. They're chasing him because they're trying to get the activity. They're trying to get that quota. You know what I mean? You go extra hard, not knowing the 29th of the month, you don't have your arrest. You're gonna do anything you have to do. Not everybody, but 50%, I would say 50% of the cops, they don't want to suffer the consequences of not having that arrest. Because you're gonna suffer consequences. Like we all are suffering consequences of not having those arrests,
Being a police officer is not easy. The stuff that we see, the stuff that we deal with is not for no human being to see sometimes because it's bad. And then for somebody else to say that we're not working simply because we don't want to arrest the innocent and be labeled as lazy and all this, we need to redefine the word working as a police officer.
I went to a job today. Another domestic, a mother called the cops, the little girl, she didn't want to go to school. She had state tests. So she said, I'm not going to school. So I took her in her room again. I said, you got to go to school. 2 other officers came in. They were assisting us. It was actually their job. And I said to myself, I'm so happy that I got here before them. So I said to the mom, I'm going to take her to school. I took her to school. I talked to school safety about her. I talked to the principal. I please excuse her for being late. She's not in trouble. I just brought her to school. I was talking to her, blah, 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 blah. And it made me feel good. You know what I mean? That I could do that, and knowing that if I wasn't there, her day would have went much different.
There's technical difficulties in there, so you're gonna have to wait.
Come on, she's gonna have to take this off, right?
No, I could do it myself. Give it to me.
How are you gonna do it? You cannot sew from the outside.
I'm not taking it off.
Wait, Asha, one more time. Asha, one more. I didn't get one.
Hold on. Your breast is all out. I don't like it.
Oh my God! What do
I
you
don't
do
like
about
it
it now?
I can fix it.
All right, bye, guys.
I'm gonna follow you. The neighbors are probably like, what the hell's going on over there? Those black people. There's not many blacks over there. I'm just looking at all of the guys on the corner and I'm like shaking my head like, oh boy, what are they gonna think about me now? Between my divorce and this job, I'm tired of fighting. I can't think about it. I can't worry about it. I'll get depressed. I'll start crying. I'll say it's not fair. Just, what's the point of it all? It's only gonna make me look old. Oh my gosh, are these her friends?
Who went down in the last picture? Me? Yeah. Sit down so I can take a picture.
starting with the preteen years, a lot of my friends started emulating the behavior that they saw in the streets. First starting with smoking weed, and then within a year of smoking weed, they were doing gunpoint robberies on Flatbush Avenue. You know, I was shocked when I realized that my friends were doing gunpoint robberies. I couldn't believe it. And they hadn't grown up as poor as I was. You know, their mothers were struggling, but their mothers were working. Their mothers made sure that they ate. I used to walk around dizzy from not eating. As much as I love the weekend, as any kid would love the weekend, Saturday morning cartoons, no school. I also dreaded the weekends because no school food. And that was the majority of my calories came from school lunch. It was tough. It was tough coming up.
How much of you is in this with a settlement in mind?
You can offer me all the money in the world, no settlement. This system has to change. With a settlement, the system continues, and I'm not for that. And I hope that others understand this. You know, some may have joined the class action because of what was done to them. I joined to change this.
Can we have somebody like you in that meeting if we decide to bring you in? If there is a meeting, like you said, one of us, two of us in the meeting?
You'd be more like an expert, I would consider. Somebody who went through the system already, some advisor who went through this already. We're gonna walk in there blind.
Yeah, in a dark room.
Money's not necessarily what we want. Yes, it'd be nice to get paid, but...
Money's listen, I hate to say it that way. Are they gonna fix everything they did wrong to you?
No.
But money is absolutely an objective, okay?
Damages.
Damages is, when you hurt them in their pocketbook, that's long lasting. You follow me? The settlement for $26.8 million, they're still talking about that today, right? But it also made the blueprints for every other police agency to follow. If the things that they're giving you are significant in terms of systemic changes and permanency, then you may have to grab it. But when you go to trial, it's all about money. It ain't about nothing else. Settlement is about changing the process.
What about the injunctions? What about the changes?
A trial is about dollars and cents.
It's about damages.
Damages. So when you go to trial and you go all the way down, it's gonna be like, okay, so the pot gets a little bigger and we're dividing more money. But systemic changes, they don't have the authority to impose it.
Gotcha.
You want something to drink? You want some soda?
Yeah, there's somewhere.
This media thing, what are they gonna ask you? This is on a news station? NBC. Okay, so whatever you're speaking about is to the point. There's no explanations. This is a punchline business. What is going to get the people's attention that you're talking about? Illegal quota systems, illegal arrests they're forcing us to make.
The quota is hurting minority people. And
listen, it's killing communities of color. And you say, well, that warrants a response, right? So what do you mean, officer, by killing? They're killing them. They're locking them up for no reason. What you need is community backing. If the community backs you, then this gets a life of its own. If the community's not backing you, it's you and the police department and nobody gives a damn. You're talking about a public safety issue where they're generating billions of dollars on the backs of poor people every day. See, that's a headline.
That's it.
You understand?
This administration, this was supposed to be progressive. And things like affordable housing, universal health care, universal pre-K, what's the point when in 12 years that 4-year-old will be swept into a quota system?
See, now you gotta take that and dumb it down.
Oh,
Okay?
Oh, shit. Connecting too many dots.
You gotta dumb it down.
Yeah.
Because remember, your whole point from point A to B is never get there.
Got it.
So dumb it down.
Simplify.
Get lost, man.
All right?
Get lost.
I got it.
And is the mayor responsible for this?
Yeah.
No.
Well, he's not, but he's in a position where he.
Listen what they ask you.
Okay.
This is like baiting the.
I see
You're
what you
baiting
mean.
the cow,
I see
right?
what you mean, yeah.
Because they're telling you, is the mayor responsible for this? Yes, he is. No, he's not, because this has always been around. Right?
He can be a solution.
Right, the mayor can be a solution to it.
I may just make as a member of the
Explosive allegations in an I-Team exclusive interview.
They're coming from police officers who are part of what's being called the NYPD 12 cops who filed a class action lawsuit in federal court.
The department says there are no quotas.
Well, I could tell you, I'm a police officer. There are quotas in the NYPD.
Are they lying?
Absolutely. It's illegal for them to admit it.
The worst thing you can have is a police officer that needs an arrest for the month.
You might not see nothing. You're supposed to be visible. You might not see anything, but you go hunting, like bounty hunting for an arrest. Kids get locked up for BS, for nonsense, ride their bicycles.
The problem is when you go hunting, when you put any type of numbers on a police officer to perform, we are gonna go to the most vulnerable.
The most vulnerable?
Of course, we're gonna go to LGBT community, we're gonna go to the black community, we're gonna go to those people that have no vote, that have no power.
All they want us to do is go out there and lock them up. They told us it's easier to get numbers out here because you work in this type of community.
So you're all minorities. How does that make you feel?
This is something coming from the top that trickles its way down, and this is why we're all here today.
Are you arresting for stuff that you shouldn't be arresting for?
Well, that's why we're here.
We don't do it.
We refuse, and because of that, we are retaliated against.
Because you're not harassing people, you're being punished. It doesn't make for a great work environment because they want you to harass people.
You know, this is a big step to come forward like this.
It's not easy. It's not easy. We are the enemies. We are the people that nobody talks to. We are the rats that speak out. It takes a lot of guts to stand where we stand, knowing that our career are basically over the second we speak against such a mafia.
Again, the police commissioner declined to go on camera to address the allegations for quotas or racial discrimination.
It just gives me like butterflies in my stomach, you know? Yeah, it's nerve-rattling. I think that they're gonna try to make us as uncomfortable as they can without actually, you know, making it seem like they're retaliating against us.
I don't know exactly what's going to happen because, you know, this is a big thing because it's not just the 12 of us that's been harassed, like I said, it's much more. And they don't want everybody coming forward. So they have to do some type of retaliation to put fear in others to discourage them from coming forward. Yeah. What they're going to decide to do, I'm not sure.
So basically, we're here today filing opposition to the city's motion to dismiss for our NYPD 12 class action. All of the NYPD 12 has recordings of their supervisors pushing them to meet their quotas. Now, it's implied that, it's pretty explicit actually, in several different precincts that you need to target males, especially Black and Hispanic males, 14 and 21.
And in the class action, we also have proof where a police captain puts the quotas numbers that he wants on the wall and then tells the guys, if you don't get these numbers, you're gonna be working in Pizza Hut. Now you can't make that up. This is what's going on. And in this lawsuit, we will show this. The department cannot correct itself, monitor itself, and punish itself. We need an independent body to do this. And this lawsuit will be the foundation to do that.
Have you noticed that they've been treating you any differently at all since the NBC interview?
Yeah, immediately. Immediately, I was, I got ostracized, and and then they put me here. They buried me here.
This full post here, how they were like, you can't even leave. You have to stay in this area. Even though I see something over here, I can't address it. I have to stay here.
They took away my overtime. Now I'm like, well, damn, what if they put me on midnights? What's gonna happen to me if they put me on midnights? My daughter's going to college and I have a 10-year-old at home. What is going to happen?
They gave me a low evaluation. They put a bunch of false statements on the evaluation to bring my numbers down to place me on performance monitoring. This evaluation, I received a 2.5 average.
They put you on midnights?
They put me on midnights. They changed my tour, and they split up me and my partner. It's just the way he went about it. It was very sneaky, very snakish, So I don't know what they're gonna pull next. So I'm waiting to see what else they're gonna pull.
This is actually something that was placed on my desk. This is the last 6 months of my life. As you see on the orange, I'm in a sector car. The 31st of March was when the NBC News interview aired. Since then, I was basically taken out of my car, retaliation, 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 retaliation.
Last week, I found myself working with my partner, and I said to him, I gotta get a summons. I gotta get something. I have to bring in something this month. And I didn't like the way that made me feel because I'm scared,
So what do you think is coming down the pike?
Well, now I'm gonna record everything because I'm afraid that they're making things up as they're going along. So it's ridiculous.
When did this start picking up?
Oh, right after the NBC. Yeah, right after the NBC press release.
I kind of knew that probably was the answer, but...
Yeah, the other guys were saying the same thing.
Oh, yeah. All right, so that's you. Hold that. You see the top button, right?
Now it's recording.
Now, to record, hold it for one quick second. So record the fan. Record Steve. Now we turn it off.
Recently, that sergeant, she just addressed roll call and made the statement that I was recording and videotaping everybody in the precinct when it wasn't true. She just said it out loud so everybody could hear, and I couldn't do anything, and I felt sick. I fainted because I felt powerless.
You fainted at roll call?
At roll call.
Everybody was there?
Everybody was there.
Richie, were you there?
Yes, I was there. I was shocked that she said all of that. And on top of that, Sandy's on the floor, basically clutching his chest of pain. She's saying, why are you faking it?
It's taking, I feel like I don't even want to go to work.
It's still hot or it got cooler in there?
It's hot. We got fans in here. They just blow hot air. You could give me a soap brush and a comb.
And the underwears. That's what you had told me the last time.
Yeah, tank tops and boxes. That's it.
And I have the book that you wanted.
Which one?
All Quiet on the Western something. He say they good, but if you don't get into it at the beginning, that then you won't get into it, but that they good.
You coming over here tomorrow?
Yeah.
Well, Pedro Hernandez has been in Rikers for the past 8 months for a crime he didn't commit.
What are they saying that Pedro did?
They say Pedro pulled out a gun and shot into a group of kids, but I found several witnesses which proved that Pedro didn't shoot the kid. And the cop that arrested Pedro also helped falsify 6 other arrests against him, and he was promoted to detective. Because over the course of his career, he's made over 1,000 arrests, which exceeds the quota by 3 times. Here's the shooting victim, which I'll be meeting with later on tonight. Yeah, Sean, you there? I'm downstairs. Come downstairs, I'm downstairs. This is what I'm talking about. I gotta put an end to this, but I can't do it by myself. All right? Now's the time where I need you to lace up your boots and be hard down with me and knuckle up, because we're gonna go to a fight right now, and the fight's gonna be in court, and you're gonna tell the truth. And then after that, we're gonna go to your deposition, and you're gonna tell them to the city, and I want you to look them in the eye just like you're looking at me. Because when you looked at me like this, guess what I did? I believed you. All right, Sean. So, can you just run down with me one more time on what happened the day you got shot? September 1st, 2015. Were you in the Bronx?
Yes, I was.
Okay. What did you see?
While I was walking to my friend's house, I had seen a group of kids arguing and screaming.
So they was fighting, and from out of nowhere, I just seen this guy shot at the group.
I didn't look back. I just started taking off.
Did you realize you were shot, or?
Yeah, after a while, I started feeling the pain in my leg.
Did you see the guy who shot the gun?
Yes.
Do you know who he is?
Yes, I do.
You know, a female and a light-skinned cop. Ask me questions. I'm like, I don't know. I ain't seen nothing. You just keep on asking the same questions. I'm like, how I'm supposed to tell you something I don't know? Like, I ain't get to see his face, nothing. Like.
So what did he want you to do?
He want me to just say somebody shot me that I do not know from a hole in the wall.
By any chance, was Pedro Hernandez there? Did you see him shoot anybody? Did you see him involved in a fight?
No, I didn't. I didn't saw him fighting, and I did not see him shoot no gun.
Was Pedro Hernandez involved in that shooting?
No. Tell me, I'm like, I don't remember nothing. Like, he like, stop playing with me before I punch your head into the wall.
How come you wouldn't say Pedro shot you?
So I never even heard of him until like that situation happened. Like,
that took a lot of strength for you to deal with that and stay arrested for 3 days. Wow. Any other cat would have just said,
that's him.
That's him, just to get out of here, but you didn't. I got a lot of respect for you. That took a lot of honor. God bless you. Hey, Jessica, how are you?
Excited.
Did you see the video?
Yeah. Oh, man. We close. It just proves once again that when they come out to the open, I have like a good feeling today. Didn't I tell you today?
Well, I lost her. She'll call me back. That's the first time I heard that mother happy.
also want to acknowledge other police officers who have really taken on a lot of heat for them coming out and whistleblowing on the issues of quotas, of ticketing and whatnot, and we want to let them know that we have their backs, as Dennis well stated.
I spoke to him. It wasn't a good conversation. He wasn't supportive of what we did at Embassy Studios. He felt he didn't see the need for it. And I told him, you're crazy if you believe that, man. We're fighting, this is David versus Goliath.
Yeah.
Without public outreach, without public support, we're nothing. I saw a friend here from the academy. She didn't want to speak to me, man.
What?
See, I saw a friend here from the academy. She didn't want to speak to me.
Right here? Wow. Which one was it?
I'll show you, huh? We're rated on a 5-point scale with half intervals. So anything below a 3 can ruin your career for the rest of your career. These are the comments. So I started off reading it. I was shocked because I thought you can only put 3 comments. I didn't know you could even put so many comments in an evaluation. And, you know, the first 3 were regular, and then right here, number 25, drive/initiative. P.O. Raymond needs constant supervision. P.O. Raymond do not take any initiative or shows any drive unless specifically directed by a supervisor. Number 16, reasoning ability. P.O. Raymond cannot apply rules or procedures to situations or cannot see how events or information relate to the solution of a problem. He does not see how a series of events are related or connected to one another, nor can he form logical conclusions from the events. And I'm reading this like, oh my God. Like, this thing is making me sound like I have a low IQ. I mean, the grammar is off. The stuff doesn't even make sense. And it just goes on and on, just horrible, horrible language. And none of this applies to me whatsoever. And I just couldn't believe what I was reading.
If you really look into those questions and really be honest with those questions that they ask, you'll fall. Overall, you know, you as my immediate supervisor, you evaluate me, you work with me, and you have no issue with my performance. And for them to hijack your duty to evaluate me simply because they have a complete other agenda.
She told me before that I'm going to take away all your powers as far as supervisor when it comes to dealing with Raymond.
This is going to be very important when the time comes to go to court because it really shows how much the supervisors are under pressure themselves to pressure us. You know, this chain of command, the way that this all starts from the top. And when I say the top, I mean the very top. Commissioner, deputy commissioners, and even the mayor's office. And the newly appointed mayor probably bit off more than he can chew and didn't understand just how much the city's budget depends on law enforcement to generate part of that revenue by issuing summonses and arrests. Because the reality is, law enforcement uses black bodies to generate revenue.
This is called a profile. Saying this is the 3rd time you're on the block. This every time I chose the block. No, man. I'm saying this is a targeted block. Last time you pulled out on me, where the gun at? You don't ask someone where the gun at, bro.
You talk to me with respect. I respond with respect. You can't talk to me like a dog and expect me to answer with respect. Respect goes both ways in every way you live. It works. Try it.
Now to an update on an I-Team exclusive, the interview with active NYPD officers who claim that they are pressured by supervisors to meet quotas for arrests and summonses.
A number of additional officers have actually reached out to us. By the way, the PBA, the NYPD Officers Union, did a survey recently. Thousands of members responded, and 89% said they believe there are still quotas. The police department flatly denies it. The commissioner insists his policies are focused on the quality of arrests and summonses, not the quantity. The officer's claims elicited this expletive from the police commissioner.
Bullshit is my response to that. If any of my cops out there still think we're pushing for the summonses, et cetera, I'm sorry. We're pushing to reduce crime.
The communities are gonna see y'all as cops, right? Your cops are coming out, but you're still cops. And just watching a clip, you're not gonna get community support because they're gonna be like, yo, they're still cops, putting me up against the wall, right? So my question is, what is a plan to kind of talk? If I'm like, yo, these cops want to meet y'all, they're gonna be like, I don't even feel safe talking to these cops.
These are the cops that are standing up against it.
I completely hear you, right?
I don't know how we convey that message.
Well, that's what I'm asking y'all, right? That's what I'm asking
Can I say something real quick? It's not really about what you guys are saying.
Exactly.
We support what you say. It's about painting a broader picture around how this will impact us in the community long term. And so, like, how will this lead to less Black bodies being violated? How will this lead towards understanding like self-determination and Black liberation, right? And so it's, what is that message that is gonna help people to understand that supporting you is supporting their cause and their mission, right?
Absolutely.
You know what it is? People have to get to know us and see how we are. Because you know what? Every community police, either Brooklyn or South Bronx, we know how to interact with people. We know how to solve people's problem.
But I think what she's saying is something different.
Yeah.
And I understand what she's saying. What she's saying is you're still a police officer.
Right.
And there are people in our community, there are people who I called to come to this meeting that said, I will not be there because I don't work with police officers, period, at all.
Right.
And they didn't come. And the ones who told me they were coming that are not here, I know exactly why they didn't show up, right? You all may be sitting here thinking, we here. Like, what do you mean, why?
Yeah.
But
Right.
there are other elements to how you engage the community that some folks on the face won't understand. And that's why I say back to us as the activists, what do we think the messaging should be?
We're not here to endorse anything with police departments. Minister Farrakhan has said to us, there are many good officers, but too few to stand up. You have chosen to stand up.
Right.
You have chosen to put your livelihood on the line. You have chosen to lose your job that protects your children, my sister, and to the brothers that are here. That is what has to resonate. Sister has a valid point. The youth have to understand because they're the most besieged, but all of us are besieged. That's why we came to sit at the table.
Apparently you all have had some kind of strategy. What would you like for us to do, and how would you like for us to do it?
The public support is what lets the city, the state, and the national government know this is not just another lawsuit. Because you're not going to get this again for 100 years. 12 cops willing to step up like this, put their careers on the line. So in order for this to be taken serious, we need you. And the analogy I use is a parent that spanks their child. You know, in the supermarket, you can't spank the child because everyone's watching. But when you get home, the child's going to get it. Right now, because of the Times article, the NBC coverage, we're in the supermarket. The department is waiting for this thing to die down so they can spank us.
Yes.
And the only way that doesn't happen is you guys. All right, so
How are they going to spank us? What's one technique?
Well, we've already been enduring retaliation for not conforming to the quota. But at this point, they're going to try to fire us. They're going to set us up. They have tactics with internal affairs. They don't have to follow the law. You know, who you going to call?
There's no law.
You know, exactly. So at this point, you know, giving me this post and killing my evaluation, listen, if I never have to be promoted so my people can be treated better, you can keep your promotion.
What NYPD 12 all share in common is that we all are monitoring. Any police officer who is considered a threat, they keep track of you. This sergeant who's in charge of the monitoring. He stopped me one day and he said, hey, I need to talk to you. So we're about to meet him for the first time. If it's legit, we have a lot to gain, but it's a possibility he might try to sabotage it.
You know, when I saw all you guys on TV, I wanted to let you know what you guys complain about, they did it to me. It affects white officers too, but just like anything else in the police department, it gets minorities the worst. Okay? You know, I'm familiar with you guys coming through performance monitoring, and I know that program. I don't know if you guys remember my face, but I used to speak to you guys when you came down for performance monitoring. I was the one. How many times I sat down with cops who tell me I'm in performance monitoring because I'm not locking up people? I've heard this before. But if you know anything about performance monitoring,
I don't know nothing about it except
doesn't.
I'm on it. So you need to hit me like, what the fuck is that like?
Well, there's so much to tell you, okay, about the program. But the fact that you guys are on it, they got you. Once you get in this program, they got you. No matter how well you perform, it's not going to be good enough. The performance monitoring program and evaluations, it's supposed to be tools to measure performance and to measure whether a cop is doing his job or not, but they're both used as weapons of retaliation, okay, and weapons of abuse.
But I tell you like this, man, the shit hit the fan, you're on your fucking own. I'm serious, man.
And I guess my real question is, how do you...
Hold on one second. I told some of the other guys, you know, I don't trust none of my bosses. I don't trust the fucking knucklehead I'm sitting in the car with. You got to watch your own back. Because they're gonna fuck with you and they're gonna fuck with you. But if your shit's on point, they ain't nothing they can do.
Yeah, but you have to understand they don't do stuff by the book.
No, they don't. It's so much. As long as you do what you
But you can't do stuff. You understand when you do stuff by the book, they don't allow you to do stuff by the book. That's not how. So that can affect you. They're looking for something, they got it.
Are they saying stop and frisk people? Or are they literally saying get 5 black guys, get 5? No, it sounds simple.
How literal is it?
Yeah.
That's a good question. One thing that they're good at, and it's colorblind racism, they get the same racial outcome without ever having to mention race. And what allows this is the fact that because of gentrification, New York City has enclaves of certain ethnicities and nationalities. So you get to focus on only blacks. You get to say, hey, we're just responding to crimes. This is a black area. You have to remember, New York is the epicenter of a lot of these issues. So broken windows policing, quota policing, this starts in New York. Before you know it, you get it in Ferguson, smaller towns. As another one in the 12 said, New York City is Ferguson on steroids. This is where it started.
I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat. I was so stressed out, and I started crying. And then the job doctor, he sent me to a psychiatrist. She asked me if I was like suicidal. And I was like, no, I'm just depressed. You know, I'm having childcare issues. I'm pregnant and the job is punishing me. And nobody seems to care. She didn't really seem to care either.
Can you describe when you feel that chest pressure, what you were doing?
I was talking to my boss, and kind of conversation went a little bit stressful.
It's just snowballing into me feeling the way I felt like years ago, like crazy hype, like all these emotions going through you, and you have nobody to talk to. When you go to the precinct, they'll tell you, oh, you can talk to people from POPA, and you can go talk to the police chaplain, and all those guys gonna do, they're gonna psych you and they're gonna take away your gun. They claim that we have all these entities that when you're having problems with the police department, you can go speak to, but you can't speak to nobody.
The captain called the medical district and asked them to order me back to work. And the district doctor said to me, You're making up every excuse not to go to work. I didn't know what to do. I said, sir, this is not a game. I went into preterm labor. Like, I was having contractions at 5 months pregnant. That's not okay.
You promoted Kenneth Boss, who murdered 2 black people in 15 months in New York City. But Edwin Raymond, who scored number 8 on the promotional exam, is not qualified to be a sergeant because the supervisor says that his activity is not good enough. This man should have been promoted long time ago. So something has to be done. Mr. Bratton, the ball's in your court.
I want to come back to the policing issues, but before you talk about prayer, because this is probably the most stressful period of your life.
Absolutely.
So what are you doing? What have you added to be able to deal with this ongoing, seemingly unending, super stressful situation?
Good question. Well, one thing that's, I could have never imagined that this would be something that could help me, but I actually had a really tough childhood. And sometimes I just think about the fact that I made it through that type of adversity. And I use that to strengthen me. I also look back at our ancestors, we benefit from their sacrifice. I look at it as a patchwork quilt where every generation gets to sew its own piece.
Yeah.
And the objective is to continue to pass the quilt till the quilt is big enough to insulate us all from the cold years of oppression.
First at 5 right now, an NYPD bombshell. 4 of the department's most senior chiefs at the center of a scandal.
And now the police commissioner is taking action as the federal government investigates corruption. CBS 2 political reporter Marcia Kramer, the latest on this.
Today, we're asking Mr. de Blasio, the mayor, to do is to form a commission to investigate the pervasive corruption, official misconduct, and bribery at the executive levels of the New York City Police Department.
When officers were complaining of corruption and quotas, Commissioner Bratton said that's bull, that's nonsense, those officers should quit. Now, we got chiefs that are being investigated for corruption, so that tells you right there, Commissioner Bratton should step down.
We're right here, so thanks, officer.
Well, I got some good news for you. I found out that there's also another video. And the video doesn't show you, it shows someone else as the shooter. And I'm in the process of getting that. I also found who the shooter was. And I'm in the process of now meeting him and getting him on video. And I'm going to have that evidence very shortly for you. It's very rare I get to say this, Pedro, but I'm 100% sure we're gonna win this case. There's no way we can lose this case. I know you're innocent, and there's nothing that's gonna change that. They're gonna try to make you another offer. They're gonna try to offer you a deal to get out of here. Will you take that deal?
No, we're not.
Why?
Because I'm innocent.
If the department was questioned about why is it that I wasn't promoted, they would have no answer. There's no legitimate answer because it's just corruption. So ultimately, me being out there, willing to speak the truth, they had no choice but to promote me.
As a result of their success in competitive civil service examination, 70
police officers are being promoted to the rank of sergeant. Will the members being promoted to the rank of sergeant please rise to their seats for the administration oath by Chief Spinelli.
It's a nightmare for them, for me to rise through the ranks, because now I outrank over 20,000 people. And knowing how the department moves, I'm sure they were looking to release something to discredit me. But whatever the consequence is, I'm gonna do whatever I have to do. This feels great, but there's a lot more to do. We have centuries of embedded ideologies and so many other things to undo.
Cheers from protesters greeted Police Commissioner Bill Bratton as he walked out of City Hall after announcing his resignation. His tenure was marked by the Eric Garner chokehold case and corruption, but the mayor insisted that that was not the reason Bratton packed it in.
110% has nothing to do with this.
I think our lawsuit had a lot to do with this dude resigning, a lot to do with it.
I was railroaded for doing what's right. So to me, that shows the insincerity regarding what the department says and what it does.
To build upon a foundation that was begun more than 20 years ago, that was the shared vision. When I, along with Jack Maple, John Timoney, John Miller, began to apply a new kind of science, a new kind of rigor to policing, one that said that cops count, police matter.
This is the email on case number 06885 of 2015. The claims that have to do with the quota, which are the most important claims that are contained in the amended complaint, have been dismissed entirely. The most important part of the case is gone. I'm not going to lie to you. The decision is depressing. The judge is saying, based on how the quota law was written, the cops cannot sue. They can only file complaints directly with the department. It doesn't matter whether what the department is doing is wrong or not. The judge hasn't even reached the merit or the substance of the claim. The judge is just saying simply, you can't sue for this. There's no right of action.
Wait, did the judge see any evidence when making this determination?
The judge has not gone to the point where you can see evidence. We just filed a complaint.
So what about the NYPD 12? Do you think this is it for them?
Oh no, obviously. I mean, not. The case is not completely dismissed. We still have a chance to move forward with the 12 plaintiffs. So the NYPD 12 is still intact, but we are hanging on by a thread.
Basically, the judge said we didn't come up with enough evidence to prove that the way we were being retaliated was based on quotas or is racial. One of the things they also said that why should it go to federal court if the department itself has internal sources to remedy our situation. You know.
I reported to OEO, Office of Equal Employment Management. I reported to Internal Affairs. They did nothing about this. Reported corruption, nothing was done. The judge knows that this guy reported to these agencies, and she did nothing about it. So that's leading me to believe there's something else going on here.
I'm trying to pass an agency where you can report crime and not worry about retaliation.
And we have nowhere to go to say Captain McCormick is forcing me to stop black people.
This agency would stop that. What this is saying is what we've been trying to fight for, and what Frank Serpico was fighting for, and cops before that.
Right.
But nobody's done it.
You look at all of them, Schoolcraft, Serpico, and all of them. Every time they did something, it got shot down at first, and they persevered and persevered. And the good thing that I know that we have a good fight. We will prevail. That I know. It's just how long is the question, and when.
We all put our jobs on the line. We put everything on the line to try to expose what's going on within the department. And it's just disappointing to know that everything we were fighting for is just being dismissed, you know? But karma's a hell of a thing, you know? You don't do that to someone, especially someone carrying a child.
Felicia, I was wondering, what do you think you'll tell this little guy about this whole experience?
He's a gift. I won't tell him anything negative about this experience. As far as I'm concerned, it never happened. It's over with. That's Black history. You know?
I feel like I'm gonna faint.
Did he say what he wants to do when he gets out, you know?
Eat a home-cooked meal. He sent to his sister to prepare it.
Oh, yeah? She's the best cook in the family?
No, but in that, she knows how to do the salmon with coconut shrimps. She knows how to do that good, so. But her rice is no good.
Yeah, I feel like I heard some chuckles back there.
Yeah, far from the best. Well.
He sent her to prepare that for him.
Okay.
I love you. We did it.
All I could say is my son is out, and best moment for a while now.
And you are prepared to go to trial with him?
Now we're ready for trial.
You're gonna see it through?
Yes.
And
we're gonna win.
Now the department says quotas doesn't exist, but obviously it does if supervisors are still forcing police officers to go out and bring back numbers.
All right, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Attention, a roll call. Connor for Orange. Orange, return dates at 6:30. Abdullah, Karen. Abdullah.
Sir.
See me after roll call. Tyson. Sir. Victory.
When any collar comes over, he take it. He needs a collar for the month anyway. I'll get you a collar. You need a collar for the month. Collar. Move to the right.
To the right.
Abdullah, you can stay. You stay. You stay. I'll go with the collar.
Working with Lieutenant Ho and another officer. They just pulled someone over. Lieutenant Ho is forcing us to do activity. Who's targeted the most? The minority community.
Can you run the play for me? Turn it. You get your collar. You're gonna wire him, so I'm gonna give him a collar. That's it. That's you. Yeah, I got Abdullah a collar. Very good. Just give me a second. Let me confirm for the first.
When I decided to go public, I was nervous, but you know, I feel what I'm doing is necessary. You know, I believe in struggle, and with struggle comes change. Come on. Come on. This way, left. Come on.
You all right? Are you okay?
Okay. Yeah. Right?
Item number 10 on the calendar. This is calendar number 10, Pedro Hernandez. I am calling 10 and we'll call 7 immediately thereafter. Secondly, Ms. Benrain, you're welcome to make your application as well. Thank you. Karen, seriously, please.
Yes, on behalf of my client, Alex Spira.
Office of the District Attorney, Darcel D. Clark, Deputy Counsel, Julian Bond O'Connor, for the people. Good morning, Judge.
Good morning, sir. My understanding that there's been a change in circumstance at this time?
Yes, Judge. The people have conducted an investigation, an extensive investigation of this case. Notwithstanding, witness accounts in this case have proven to be inconsistent and contradictory. Therefore, at this time, the people moved to dismiss the indictment against Pedro Hernandez in indictment 2105 of 2016.
Okay, and the case is dismissed.
I want to thank Private Investigator Manuel Gomez. Thanks to my family, thanks to RFK. Thank everybody who was by my side, supporting me through the way, and helped me get this case dismissed.
Did you ever have
second thought? I don't know.
Nah, my thoughts was just have faith. Faith moves mountains, and just keep going.
So what about the college scholarship? That's the big thing.
Yeah, my college scholarship, I'm continuing on with that. I'm gonna be going on to college and starting a new life.
I'm gonna go have the well-deserved cup of coffee and to sit back and enjoy the moment of bliss.
Are you gonna go with Jessica and the family, or?
I gotta fight another case, and then I'll hook up with the family later on. But thank you.
I always knew something was coming, and now something is finally here. I have to deal with slander. Let me show you something.
So they're saying you let a suspect go just because he's black?
Yeah, I'm being accused of letting someone slide simply because he's black. And the irony is, this recent attempt at slander is basically trying to deem me as the racist. The NYPD 12 has made themselves more vulnerable to all types of dangers, but at the same time, has brought light to an issue that we can no longer afford to not acknowledge. We're at a time where there's just no room for anonymity. There's no room for silence. We're way beyond that. The days when an officer sits in a silhouette with a disguised voice, those days are gone, This is the time where you have to be able to show your face and you have to be able to speak the truth.